1, 2, and we are live to talk about nerd shit. Let's do this, gentlemen. I am the hardest working goatee in 40K, Mr. Lyle Dixon. In the top right, we have Mr. Jason Snigowski. And then I believe below him, we have Mr. Brian Horton. I'm just going by what it says on the screen right now, sir. Right now it says you're Jason Snigowski.
Snigs, apparently I'm you.
I mean, Snigs got uglier, that's for sure.
Ah, that's hurtful.
to which person? So, we've had some time, gentlemen, to comb through the indices, the points, to grapple with our lamentations. I think we're all wearing yellow checkerboard armor about some things in 10th edition right now. As a Lamenter's joke, for a Blood Angels joke for those of you who don't get that. But I think we've had some time to percolate. We've had some time to process some information. And if you guys are like me, you spend most of your waking time where you're not actively doing anything thinking about 40K. So I figure this is a good opportunity to channel that. Let's talk about some other people's thoughts about 40K tonight. What do you guys think?
Sounds like a plan.
All right, so we collected some list ideas from some of our community members today. We have 5 or 6 lists to look at. I think they're of varying competitive levels. So we're going to see if we can give them the old Brad magic and make all of these go out and win a GT at Salt City this coming tournament. This what is that, 2 weeks from now, Brian?
Yeah, because we could definitely fix these because there's absolutely no disparity versus the top armies and the other armies.
Yeah, Brad's going to take whichever one of these Brad likes the most. He's going to take the Salt City. He promised me that.
That is a huge lie, but that's okay. I do like Lamenters got what they deserved.
Well, I mean, they probably feel that way too. They are big old emo sad boys. So, all right, let's talk about some lists. Makes all the sound effects. I don't know if you guys hear the sound effects on your end. Cool.
I do not.
When you go back and watch the YouTube video, they make that transition make sound effects. It's awesome. All right, we got some Sisters of Battle. So Scott sent in a list, and I'll bring up what he said. He also sent me some comments. I know Brad loves it when people tell him how the list works, so he doesn't have to think too hard. So we got 2 Dialogus, a Palatine with the Blade of St. Eleanor, Triumph of St. Catherine. We have 2x2 Crusaders, which I know Brad was very excited about. 1x2 Death Cult Assassins, 2 units of Retributors with Multi-Meltas, 3 units of Seraphim with maximum flamers they can take, 3 units of Zephyrim, a Rhino, 3 Castigators, and 3 Exorcists.
I actually like this list quite a lot.
Yeah, Scott sent in his thoughts with it, that he wants the Rets and Dialogus and the Rhino. The Triumph can reserve if necessary against indirect. He wants the vehicles and the Rets to dish out the early damage with the Ret Dialogus Triumph combo. Everything else is basically trash to score points and rack up miracle dice early game. Also screen out if he needs to. He also says he's pretty happy to use all of his trash just to screen out stuff against his tanks and just kind of make a kind of wall in front of his tanks to protect them and use the sacrifice strat if necessary.
I like the fact that he's got the double Crusader and the single Death Cult. The Crusaders are fantastic. They're 20 points. And so that's a great unit. I'd probably go 3 at that point in time with those guys. Castigators actually have some serious play now. Points are pretty good. The thing is, with this list, I think that I would probably reserve just a huge amount of stuff because you've got the 25% you can put into regular reserve, but then you can go above that if you've got another special rule that says that you can do something, a deep strike or whatever.
It's like all the Seraphim and Zephyrim can just do it anyway.
Right. It depends on what you're playing against. It just depends on how much indirect your opponent has. If you're playing an IG, Desolator Marines, I'm going to put almost anything that I can put in reserve that's an infantry body.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I like this. I'm debating on whether I want a big unit to buff, though, of like Zephyrim or Seraphim, or we want to just go max MSU. Because if you've looked at the missions and the secondaries, there's a lot to be said for just taking the board. Like a lot of the secondaries are very big, Even your primaries, like really big on taking that the middle of the board, and things of that nature. Just getting there and having the ability to put trash in the middle is a big deal. What does he say he wants to do with Devil Dialogist?
Bring it back up. He says I think he's got 2 Dialogus to make sure he has access to the combo. Retributor's Dialogus and Triumph St. Catherine. So I imagine he's got one as like a redundant one, in case something happens.
I can be down with that. And I hate transports, but in an army like this, I might actually try to squeeze in another Rhino, just depending on the indirect situation. Because these girls,
that was my thought too. I thought a second Rhino would be really good here.
Yeah, the problem is the girls are just so susceptible to indirect fire, and there's just so much of it out there that I don't want to have my Retributors do absolutely nothing. Seraphim can jump in and do stuff. So he wanted just max flamers on it, not pistols, the melta pistols on that.
The list he sent only had flamers. Yeah.
Yep.
I might go with
plasma pistols on the sergeant, but
yeah, I just might go with the melta pistols, maybe 1 unit of each, and then split the difference. Coin flip the 3rd unit. It's just you don't have a ton of damage in this besides the tanks, so it's just all the melee went down in efficiency because toughness went so through the roof, and the strength of melee weapons just didn't go up with them. So you're just wounding it. Almost all of the armor in the game, like anything that has high toughness on that, you're wounding it a 6. So it's just you're bouncing off shit.
Matt has a comment in chat that I agree with because I was noticing that's when I was looking at my sanguinary guard, but they changed the Inferno pistols to all D3 damage, which is kind of a bummer.
Yeah, I'm debating whether flamers bounce off shit because you were already picking up the trash anyways. So maybe the flamers are the way to go at that point in time. But then I would want another Retributor squad. If we get another Rhino in, I wouldn't mind another Rhino and another Retributor.
Okay.
So what do you take out? An Exorcist?
No, the tanks are doing like so much heavy lifting in this army.
Doing all your work, right?
Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, even though I hate saying it, the Zephyrim might be the thing that goes. Like a Zephyrim or 2. It's just they bounce off so many things, and you're already kind of taking out the trash fairly easily. So.
Yeah, I guess my concern is at which point.
At what point do we turn it into? At this point in time.
Yep.
There he is.
So,
yep.
So I just want a little more damage, and I probably tell you the truth, I'd like to see a 3rd Crusader squad. Yeah, exactly. Zeph's only tickle. So I just don't know if I care about Zephs. The Seraphim have more flexibility than the Zephyrim for me because they can hit different targets. They can hit a range. They can, basically pop in and shimmy over after they do things. So maybe we go. Oh God, I hate transports so much. Saying that I want.
So you're turning into an armor rush list, which is very anti-Brad for sure.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is that again, indirects out there. I think I may have said this before once or twice. So it's one of those things where I need to plan against that. You know what I mean? So to give yourself a chance to take that board to basically take my secondaries and not die.
Okay. Brian, anything else you want to add?
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Brad.
No, I was just reading what he put, but it was another chat. Go ahead.
I mean, I think the Zephyrim are the one thing I don't like in the list. I would prefer the other Crusader, another Retributor squad, and probably that other Rhino way more than anything else.
Okay.
I agree.
Close combat is so degraded that I just think the Zephyrim don't do enough to justify being on the board.
And you already have enough shots to take out the trash things. And I mean, my favorite unit in the codexes or the index is the Crusaders. They're so cheap.
All right. Cool. Well, thank you for your list, Scott. Let's move on. Next, we have a Deathwatch list sent in by Sean. So his idea came in with an Apothecary Biologus, which I believe adds on to the Indomitor kill team. Gravis Captain, which also probably has to go on the Indomitor kill team. Phobos Librarian, which is going on the Spectrus. The Lieutenant and Watchmaster, I imagine, are going on the Proteus. He's got 3 Gladiator Lancers, a Repulsor Executioner. So in his Proteus kill team, he's got 4 Frag Cannons and 3 Assault Cannons. In the Indomitor kill team, he's got a Heavy Bolter. Functionally, he's got 5 Heavy Bolters with the Inceptor's guns, and then a Multi-Melta. And then he's got 2 Snipers and 2 Suppressors in his Spectre's kill team.
I'd rather lean more into the Deathwatch kill teams. I think they have a lot of value and a lot of punch. I can play any Marines and just put in Lancers. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I'd like to see more of bang bang. I love the Phobos Librarian because he has shrouding, so he can just sit with infiltrators and make it so he's only targetable within 12. And then you also have the pushback so people can't deep strike and hit you. So you can really hold on to an objective, either your home or neutral zone. So I like that quite a bit. I don't know. I think that you can lean into more. If I'm playing Deathwatch, I want to abuse their strats, even though they can't do mortals anymore with the. It was either the dragon. I can't remember which one.
Hellfire.
Rounds.
Hellfire.
Yeah. Still a lot
Hellfire
of damage,
rounds,
whether it's mortals or not. Yeah.
Exactly. So like I wouldn't mind seeing just like 2 more of these Proteus teams and probably less tanks.
Okay.
I definitely would want to see less tanks in this list. I think the Proteus kill teams are absolutely fantastic.
Agreed.
Multiple Terminators with assault cannons and frag cannons is just really, really strong.
Are you guys concerned at all, kind of with the conversation we had on the Sisters list, if we get away from armor, are you concerned about indirect into this list, if we just start spamming infantry?
A little bit, but we have Terminators and stuff like that. The Indomitor kill team, I wouldn't put the Aggressors and the Inceptors. Unfortunately, they're 2 of my favorites, but like the Aggressors and the Inceptors all have 1 gun. Mm-hmm. So it's just the amount of firepower you're getting for the price is just really low. So I would just do anything besides that, to be honest with you. I may even just keep spamming Proteus kill teams. It's just the problem is the aggressors, Inceptors, Eradicators all went down in power because you lost shots on the Aggressors and the Inceptors and the Eradicators. The Eradicators total obliteration no longer shoots twice.
Yeah, it's just reroll everything, I think.
Yep. So like it's just not doing a ton. You're not getting a ton of shots. I mean, I like 1 Eradicator just popping a multi-melt out there for 2 shots, but the Aggressors and the Inceptors are just so meh to me. It's meh. They got me so excited. I was so pumped to bring some Inceptors in and drop them 3 inches away from somebody, and then I realized they had 1 gun, and I was like, boo on you, sir, boo.
Yeah, I really like Inceptors. There's also a mission. If you're, accidentally spoiled ahead. If you're playing the tactical cards, there's the mission where you get like 8 points if you hold the objective in your opponent's deployment zone. Inceptors are real good at that.
Why not a Deathwatch Terminator squad in here?
Just take the kill teams. They get all the special rules. You can their strats actually hit 2 kill teams or 1 unit, so you can actually splash those better. And with the Watchmaster, you can use the stratagem twice, so you can use any of the Hellfire, Dragon, whatever rounds 4 times basically if you put them on kill teams. Which is why I just want more kill teams, to be honest with you.
No, that's why I'm looking at the Proteus kill team because I admittedly don't know it by heart yet. And go, why wouldn't you just take the 5 veterans, the 4 Terminators?
Oh, they're so good too because you can take the 3 assault cannons in them.
Yeah.
As opposed to 1 for 5. I like these guys quite a bit.
I do like the Spectre's kill team. I know they're not very killy, but Brandon had talked to me about this before we started testing last weekend. Just the idea of, this is the same idea, like 10 infiltrators with a Phobos Librarian can hold like 2 or 3 objectives at the same time
so
without getting shot. Yeah,
they can spread out. They have snipers. You know what I mean? They have a lot of usefulness. I think they have a lot of utility.
Yeah, I like, especially in an indirect. If we're starting in an indirect meta, that's just a perfect answer to let you try to figure out how you're going to leverage your damage elsewhere and not have to worry about it.
I think that any army that you're building, if you have access to shrouding, I mean, whatever you want to call it, just any army, any unit, but scout, snipers, stealth, anybody that basically says you can't be targeted unless you're within 12, I think they're a must take because it lets you take your home base.
Yeah, I like even in my knights list, I'm looking at putting in assassins just to have two things that can hold an objective and not get indirected. Like I think it's just a real powerful ability in every army right now for sure. All right. Brian, anything else you want to add?
Nope. I think Brad kind of covered it. I almost want to say completely lose the vehicles.
Yeah. I mean, the Lancers are good, but like you said at the beginning, Brad, like if you're gonna play Lancers, you might as well go play Double Oath of Moments, right? So, see a few comments in chat. I did want to say we have selected lists tonight that are all people who are not on our stream. So we wanted to really highlight the community here. Brad made the call that we had a couple lists that some of our streamers had suggested. Brad's like, no, we're here for the people. I'm a man of the people. We're talking about the people's list tonight. So
that's exactly how it played out.
Yeah. All right. Next up, Brad, let me hear you. Give it to me. Give me your best one. Let's go.
I can't see anything you're doing right now. I'm waiting for that to
There you go, Horton. There you go.
Okay.
I wanted the wall, Brad.
Well, I didn't know. I can't see.
Well, you're omniscient. You should have known. So, all right. So we got orcs. Brad, to be fair, would never go to Wah, even if he knew it was orcs. He just wouldn't have done it.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. He would have done the Wah Mr. Bond or something like that. So we got orcs.
When is our goddamn super chat going live? Is that a Tom thing right now?
I have no idea when it goes in. I know Tom submitted it when you guys were talked about it. What was it, a week and a half ago? We are hoping it will be up by this weekend, which we're going to talk about this weekend here at the end of the stream. But unfortunately, I think it's at a point where we don't have any power to accelerate the process. We're just kind of waiting, which kind of stinks.
Makes me sad.
Yeah. All right, orcs. We got 3 beast bosses. We got a 4th beast boss on a Squigosaur with Head Wappa Scale Choppa.
Who doesn't have Lone Operator, and it pisses me off so much.
All right, I'm going to get these names wrong, Brad. So you tell me when I get one wrong. Okay. We got Boss Snickrot, Captain Badrook, Mosrog Scragbag, Zodgrod Wartsnaga, and a Pain Boss. How did I do?
That was really good.
That was actually excellent.
All right. We have 4 units of Beast Snagga Boys, 10 Flash Gits, 11 Gretchen, another 22-man Gretchen, 10 Commandos, and 3 trucks to put them in.
Is shit just walking besides these trucks?
Yeah. I'm imagining outflanking or tactical reserving. I don't know what else the plan would be for those. How many things fit in a truck? One thing?
I don't think is super competitive.
Here's the thing is that I would love to see these Beast Boss and Squigosaur and the Great White Whale Mosrog be awesome, but they don't have Lone Operator. So you just go, hey man, that probably is going to hit me really hard if he gets here. Luckily for him, I'm going to shoot him right now because he has no protection. I don't know if that's a mishap or what's the deal with that, but like, I really think that I mean, is that a mistake or you think that's actually something that they did on purpose?
I mean, you have to think if it was a mistake, they would have fixed it by now, right? Because they can. It's just.
I mean, we said that about a few things, and there's an oddball chance that they just don't have a clue yet because they're so worried about the things that people are really complaining about heavily that they haven't got to it.
Yeah.
I would love to have these guys. If they were Lone Operators, I'd love them, but I mean, they have to go away. I mean, they just get murdered.
So the trucks now can carry 12 orc infantry, right? So you can carry the Beast Boss, 10 Beast Snaggas. And
Badrook goes in the Flash Gits.
Yep.
And they're pirates, so they obviously hit better than normal ones. So
let's start with the Beast Boss and Squigosaur and Mosrog. If they're not got Lone Operative, and we think whether that's an oversight or not, do you just want to drop those for 2 more trucks?
Yeah, I mean, boys and trucks are crazily cheap right now.
Yeah, they're 50 points. I mean, you get 4 more trucks for those 2 guys probably, but you don't need 4
easily. Yeah.
But then the boys are actually cheap too. I mean, Beast Snagga boys are just better than boys, but like we could just bring a bunch of boy units. we could have so many boy bands. We can have. And this is when I'd be hitting the NSYNC and the Backstreet Boys if I was running the show today.
I mean, if close combat wasn't as not good as it is, I wouldn't have a problem with running a truck rush list.
Yeah, you just bounce out and do nothing though. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's the big problem is you can't do anything. I mean, even the wrecking ball on the truck is just like random 1 attack at strength 10 with no AP.
I know Corey is bringing a list this weekend, which we're going to talk about this weekend at the end of the stream. And I think he's got 6 trucks, and he's just trying to play. Like, he knows he's getting tabled. He's just trying to play the
That's what we were
mission and
talking
score
about
points. Yeah.
when we put orcs on the table last week. We were just talking like I think that 6 trucks, rushing up, taking the board, scoring your points, scoring your secondaries is a big deal. I'd also like to see another unit of Gretchen or 2. They're just so good. Plus, they can shenanigans up. They have so much random movement now. Also,
Yeah. Someone in chat said that Gretchen can like move 24 inches in a wall potentially. That's crazy to me.
all the Grot tanks. I haven't seen the Grot tanks yet though. I need Forge World stuff.
They haven't officially put the rules out yet, but I've been told by many people that the data is in the app, and if you know how to get to it, it is there.
There's absolutely no chance I know how to get to it.
Yeah, if you
I
go,
already do that, Brad.
if you're interested in that, go look on Reddit. There's lots of posts about people who do know how and are reporting what they found. We're not going to get into that until things are official.
I'd like to take more Gretchen, more boys, more trucks. Get rid of both the guys that are on Squigosaurs, even though they're my favorite things in the entirety of the Orc Codex, because they're not lone operators and they get shot in the face.
I haven't even read the Commandos data slate yet.
Let's see. We actually do have Rick in chat right now. He's saying, I don't know which things he's talking about, but I think he's saying something gives a free tank shock though, which he's talking about. I think he's probably talking about the wrecking ball, which I think is that what that does? I don't know. So at one point he was talking about there was something we were talking about taking out that he said gives a free tank shock.
I love it. I couldn't even find the app on the Play Store. Neither could I, but I made who sent me the link?
I did.
Yes, I was say you sent me the link and I went to it and found it. Like, how did I find the app? I had another adult send me something that I could click on and make myself go to it.
Okay,
and then everything.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Brad. I was looking at chat. Someone's trying to explain to us how this list works. Someone's saying that Zogrod is supposed to go with the 22 Gretchen and get them across the table and make them T5 -1 to win. Okay.
He also has the crazy hair syndrome. He's all nuts. It's like, what's up, guys?
There's also an argument in chat if with Zogrod's 4+4+, if he is durable enough without Lone Operative, which I'm not sure. There's a lot of damage out there. It's hard to say something's durable without Lone Operative. There's a lot of damage out there.
I like Corey's. Don't tell Brad it's in the app. He'll end up smashing his phone to look inside and find it. I'm going to do some Zoolander on it.
I mean, Mozrag with the 4+4+, maybe without Lone Operative is okay. I just don't think the boss on the Sprigosaur is.
Neither one of those guys is making it. They're going to get shot so fast. You have to have Lone Operator. They're going to get you. Look what you did to my boy.
All right. So how about this, Brad? We will, if at some point in the future these guys have Lone Operator, we'll bring this list back so you can talk about it in a more enthusiastic
And then I'm bringing
way.
so many Squigosaurs. It's going to be awesome.
I know you love your Squigosaurs. That's true. All right. You guys ready for the next one then?
Absolutely.
All right. We got your woofy boys, Brad. Let me hear you howl.
Woo!
There we go. All right. So we got good old Harold.
We need Harold and Canis. It's like Smash Brothers.
We only have Harold.
Well, that's a travesty.
You talk to Sam about it. You've got his ear, I know. We got a Wolf Lord on a wolf. He's got a Thunderhammer, Relic Shield, and the Honor of Vehement. We got 10 Desolators, 10 Long Fangs with Grav Guns, 2x3 Thunderwolf Cavalry, 2x5 Wolfguard Terminators with Chain Fists, 2 Razorbacks with Twin Assault Cannons. I imagine each of the Long Fangs goes in one of those, and then 2 Redemptor Dreads with Gatlings. So this is a Space Wolf list that did what you said, Brad, and just try to put as many devastating wounds in this list as possible.
The Redemptor Dreads are overpriced. We're killing them.
Yep. I agree on that one.
Yeah, they're $225. Something like that? $205.
They are so much. Also, my other question is, why Do long fangs cost more than devs, and they're the exact same thing?
I thought that was like you could get a Terminator Sergeant and that made him special and more expensive. I didn't know. I didn't know what was happening there.
Don't they have a do not move, get something ability?
Yeah, like a smoothie from the mall, but like
Yeah.
they have no real ability. I wouldn't mind seeing the Desolators put into a one big squad, put a character inside it, like a Libby or something. I want somebody that gives a bolter discipline.
Mhm.
And we need Canis.
Is Canis good or you just like him? I don't know what he
Both.
does. Okay, I just don't know what he does.
He's cheap and he also gives buffs to all those Thunderwolves.
Okay.
And also Redemptors are just way overpriced.
Well, if we cut to Redemptors, we're getting like 450 points right there. So how do you want to spend those 450 or so points?
With another unit of long fangs with grab.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's going to be, you said they're more than 120?
They're 150.
Okay, so that gives us about 300 points left. So we get a third long fang, a Libby. I don't know if you could either. They can't take apothecaries, can they? They have to take Libby's. So they would have to take the Primaris Librarian, which is like what 80 points.
Yeah, I'm debating on. He has no. I think we just take a couple. I want to make sure that they get access to it. They still can take scout snipers, correct?
As far as I know. Yeah.
Let's go look at what they can't have.
Well, it just gives them the actual data sheets for Space Wolves, but you can take the regular Space Marine shit, right?
Yeah, so the things they cannot include tactical assault squads, assault squads with jump packs, devastators, command squad, or Primaris apothecary.
I do love this comment in chat, Brad. It's like if you cut the 2 Redemptors, you can just add 20 more Desolators.
And he's not wrong.
I mean, he's not wrong. I'm trying to stay in the flavor of the army.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
So we just take 75 for the Libby.
And then Bolter Discipline's 25 or 35. I don't remember which.
That one I
Now,
remember.
that does mean that this list has to be, and I think we all assume that this list has to be playing in the Gladius Strike Force. You're not playing this with Sagas of the Wolf. Yeah.
The Sagas suck so much. Yeah. I can't even begin to tell you how much they suck.
Well, he has the honor of development or whatever that is there.
Oh, yeah, honor of vehement would be you're in Gladius anyway. You're right.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. There's rabble.
Agree.
Two scout snipers because they can't be targeted unless they're within 12. Mm-hmm. You can hold your 2 back objectives.
Okay.
Oh man, that Tyler Crea guy. He put in a cool list. I'd love to look at that list.
Brad, all I could say is that we didn't know that Tyler was part of the people until this moment. So when we made the decision to, honor the people, he wasn't included in that. So I apologize to Tyler Crea. We'll have to get him into the masses by next time.
We can talk about his list. We just won't have it up on screen.
That's true. We could do that. So we're going cutting the dreads. We said 2 scout snipers, a third long fang, Primaris Librarian. Is that about all the points?
Just put your Desolators into a 10-man probably to put him in. They get a 4-up invul and then they get Bolter Discipline.
Can you fit a drop pod at that point for one of those long fang units?
Nah, just walk them on.
I mean, if you got 2 in Razorbacks and 1 outflanking, they should be relatively well protected.
That's fair.
What do you think about the Terminators? 2/5.
Sam, he loves them.
So it's just going to be a personal choice. We're not going to try and talk about it.
Yeah.
All right.
No, when you're looking at a list, you still want to keep the flavor of the list. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean? Like what somebody's trying to do with it.
Absolutely.
And he can fit. What, they get 2 assault cannons, don't they?
It's just 1.
Is it just 1 for them?
Yeah, it's just regular Terminators get 1 heavy weapon per 5.
I thought their Wolfguard Terminators got better.
He's got
Chad
them.
Brester.
He's just got them all with combi weapons. But I mean, he probably just didn't do it in the app since you have to go in and change it in the app. So I bet he wants that. Yeah, because all these people were nice and sent me their list in the new GW app, which is actually useful, which is great. Yeah.
Does it make it look like that?
No, this was me because I am a PowerPoint expert. So
I
made this in like 5 minutes.
Export your list. It looks really nice.
It does. Yeah, it made it very easy for me to type it.
Was that?
Yeah, it makes it very easy for me to type it up into a format like this quickly. So. All right, next one. All right, Brian, this is your time to shine, baby. Let's go. We got some Tyranids by Monic. Now, those of you who are not from the Michigan, Ohio area, Monic is our resident Hive Lord. He regularly comes out and just terrorizes everyone with Tyranids, but he has been in slumber since Arcs of Omen came out, and he decided he wasn't playing Tyranids.
He literally flew out into dark space.
Yeah, but his Hive Fleet is returned for 10th edition, and this is what he's come up with so far. So we got a Broodlord with Adaptive Biology. He's got a Neurotyrant with Alien Cunning. 2 Lictors, a Psychophage, 5 Barbagonts, 5 Gene Stealers, 3 Biovores, 2 Exocrines, 2 Haraspexes, 18 Zoanthropes, 6 Warriors with ranged bioweapons, and 3 Tyrant Guard with Cleavers and Whips. I'm going to be honest, Brian, I don't know what any of those words mean, so you got to explain this to me.
All right, so what he's doing is he's taking the Broodlord and sticking him with the Gene Stealers.
Yeah, but the Gene Stealers need to be a 10-man.
They need to be a 10-man. The Neurotyrant is going with the I saw it in there.
He's going into the trash is what he's going.
Yeah, that's where he's going. He's going with the Tyrant Guard, and the Tyrant Guard.
He's pulling a cannonball right into the garbage can.
Get him right out of there. The cheap Warriors are fine for backfield objectives, because you can take a Venom Cannon, Barb Strangler, and random other gun, and they're okay. 18 Zoanthropes is just excessive. I think they're more of a buff unit now than anything else, although they give you the shooting to kill tanks. It's not super reliable. And although they have a 4-up invul save the minute they step out in the open because they're still infantry, they just die. And indirect exists. I would like to see, to be honest with you, some more Biovores, because I think Spore Mines are a lot better than people are giving them credit for.
I've heard a lot of talk about Spore Mines.
It's so good. I would spam Spore Mines.
I would spam Spore Mines. The Lictors are really good. The Psychophage, I actually like 2 of them in a list because of their buffs that they give out. Because basically you end up with the Zoanthropes and the Psychophage, you end up with 6-up invul saves, 6-up feel no pain, and within 6 inches of those things. And I think that's really good and works fairly well. The Haraspects, on the other hand, I've ran them a couple times now. They are just a close combat monster. I'd rather see another Exocrine in the list.
If we deuce out the Zoes, we have more options for other stuff.
Yeah.
With the things that are out there right now, I just don't see the Zoanthropes like surviving more than a turn.
Yep, I agree. I don't mind 2 units of 3.
I just want more Spore Mines. Spore Mines are just gross.
Yep. I have 9 Biovores in my list right now. Although, yes, they're tough. They're not super tough, but you backfield them with the Psychophage with Zoanthropes nearby. They basically, with barbed gaunts, can slow your opponent's army down excessively so they can't maneuver around the board and get to objectives. You can move block with them because you can't advance you cannot advance within X number of inches of Spore Mines.
Yep.
The barbed gaunts will remove 2 inches of movement. You can split fire all over the place. It's heavy. All you have to do is hit with it. I prefer a couple of units of those so you can get angles a little bit better.
Can we trash the 2 units of 3 Warriors and get more Barb Gaunts on?
Yeah, absolutely. Because the 5 Barb Gaunts are 50 points.
Right. I was just saying
the Warriors are 70. Yeah.
And they're overpriced even at that. So
yeah.
So I would rather see the Barbagons, more Biovores, 10-man Gene Stealer unit, because that's where the Broodlord's going to get those devastating wounds on them. Yeah.
And get the Neurotyrant out and the Tyrant Guard completely. I just don't see it. Although I like the redeploy for Alien Cunning. You could, if you really want that, you could put it on something a little more interesting. I think the Gene Stealers are really good. They're the only close combat unit that I think is anything decent in the Tyranid army right now.
That's just a personal. Do they still have like a scout move?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Gene Stealers can hit you pretty hard. You just need a 10-man unit. If you're gonna invest into the Broodlord, get yourself 10 Gene Stealers. Make it worthwhile because that's where he's going.
You're looking at 125 points for that Broodlord with adaptive biology. You need the 10-man.
Yeah, you want to be
if
able
you
to
don't
hit
go,
hard enough.
if you don't go first, that unit might get picked up, even though you're going to redeploy them out because you're going to have somebody with alien cunning. You just need it not to be the Neurotyrant.
Do you guys think Alien Cunning's worth it with the way it's currently worded with you do it before you know
They're-
who's going first?
They'll fix it. I mean, that's been the first. I mean, yeah, I say that, but they misprinted like several redeploys in the past, and then they always went back and did it after. Because why the hell would I need to redeploy if I don't know who's going first?
Yep.
Doesn't even make sense. Like I'm gonna redeploy. Why? Because sometimes I'm bad at deploying and I fix it. I'm just like,
All right. So our suggestion is lean way more heavily into the Spore Mine part of the list
Absolutely.
and add more Gene Stealers. Okay.
add more Gene Stealers, add more Barbagons, probably add more big boys.
Yep. The Exocrine is, when I first looked at him, I was like, you know what, 135 points, he's good. And then I used him a couple times and went, yeah, he's real good.
Yeah, for the points too. I would
Yeah,
definitely get us another Exocrine for sure. I might actually get us another Horseback. He's only melee, but he actually hits pretty hard for his points.
I've heard a lot of people talk a lot about how good the Harrispex is. Like
he's good. If you're running 3 of them, then I'm fine with it. 2, just I don't know.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
We threat overload.
If we dump a lot of the stuff on the right hand side here, you know what I mean, and we kill the Neurotyrant, we get another character. We put somebody with alien cunning on. We do 10 Gene Stealers. We add basically probably 10 more Barbagons, and we add
alien cunning. I like the Parasite.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I don't care who it goes on. We just want it.
Yeah.
10 Gene Stealers, add a Horseback, add an Exocrine, and add some more Biovores.
All right.
I'm down.
I think we have one last list I have a slide for, and then we can talk about some via word of mouth. Now, Brad, this next list is special. Tyler Crea, yeah. This next list is special, Brad, because it's going to be on our stream this weekend. For those of you who were not aware, we're going to start streaming at probably 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, and we're going to be playing games to celebrate launch weekend all afternoon, evening tomorrow, all day Saturday, and probably for at least 8 or 9 hours on Sunday morning. So one of the lists we're going to be bringing is a real sweet Adeptus Custodes list that I thought Brad might take a crack at, because Brad's going to get a chance to play this on stream, and I wanted him to have a chance to fix it. So we have Mike Henderson's Adeptus Custodes list, Brad, that you will be playing on stream. And I have the big breaking news for you, Brad. You will be playing against an all-Kroot Tau army with this list on stream.
This is like bum fights.
Hey, God. when we were rolling off to see who got to play this, you were very excited that you won the role to play this list. I'm
still excited, but I forgot about it, and I'm looking at it going, "Oh, Jeebus! Can he put more Psychers in his list?"
You got paired into the one army with those Psychers.
There's so many sisters.
This is Mike Henderson's famous 3-3 list that he I think it was the Invitational. He went 3-3 in a 2-day GT with this list.
He did.
Yep.
Yeah, I still don't know how. I called him a wizard. Oh,
yeah. Exactly. Someone reminding you the Rhinos have no fire points.
Yeah. Again, I'm not really sure why they decided to weld the fire points shut. Also, they're modeled with them open, by the way. Have you ever looked at your Rhinos? They have fire points. They're just on the model.
Are they the 2 windows in the front?
Yes. Okay. And they have others too. It's so stupid. Also, there's a dude sticking out the top of the Rhino. That feels like a fire point.
Someone in chat is questioning if someone owns this many sisters. And let me tell you, chat, Mike Henderson not only owns all these sisters, they are beautifully painted.
They're very, very nicely painted.
It is the most expensive list in 40K.
What is it? Do you get 5 for like $60 or something like that? They're stupid expensive.
Oh, Corey, let's keep it a little more PG, please. Yeah, I think we're gonna say that's crossed the line, and we're gonna move on. All right. So this is obviously hilarious, but we will be playing this list on stream against Brandon's crew
Specifically,
party.
I will be playing this
Brad,
on stream.
if you want to come, and it's going to be probably later in the day, so Brad's probably going to be in peak form, peak Brad condition. If you want to
Okay.
come and be entertained on Saturday.
I mean, is Brad going to be like third round of the boys?
I think that's up to Brad.
I don't know if I can achieve that level ever again. So,
but we have a whole spate of armies we're going to be playing this weekend. We have Marines, I think we are various matchups we're hoping to put on over the course of the weekends. We have Marines into Tyranids, Eldar versus Dark Eldar, Blood Angels versus Orcs, Sisters versus Kroot, regular Sisters versus Necrons, Knights versus Chaos Knights. I think we have Grey Knights versus Demons, and Dark Angels versus Thousand Suns. And because Brad wants some number of those lists to be as competitive as possible, some of those games are probably going to end really quickly, and then we're going to put on even more games we don't know about yet. It's going to be a surprise. So we're going to find out with you guys what games we're playing this weekend. But we can at least advertise we're going to get those 10 out there.
If we get the goddamn super chats working, we will literally have anything that anybody puts a super chat in.
If you and to be fair, if you just talk enough over the course of the weekend, Brad will probably still pay attention and do what you want anyway. So we'll be taking requests, suggestions, all kinds of things. I know we're going to have various prizes we're going to give away. Apparently, YouTube does not let you do monetary raffles, so we're probably just going to be raffling off for anyone that participates in chat over the weekend. If you come and hang out with us and type to us and keep us entertained, we'll probably put your name in a raffle.
The stuff that Brandon will have will inspire people to watch a lot.
Yeah. This is going to be a fun way to celebrate 10th coming out. It's not just going to be a testing session. We will be doing testing there in the other room. And if we have something interesting, we might come put it on stream. But, this is not just hardcore competitive gaming all weekend. This is going to be, I think part of this is a lot of people really like the missions in the secondaries and the way everything kind of balances out when you're not just getting tabled. So we're definitely going to put some games out there where we can really kind of explore the nuances of 10th edition and get familiar with it. Brad has promised to do a shot every time he gets any rule wrong all weekend.
Oh my God, I'm gonna die.
So this is Brad's last show, just so you guys know. He will not be here next week.
we do have a counter for how many times we've gotten rules wrong for the streams. I think we can get it definitely over 100.
I'm sure.
So that list I sent you, Lyle, would you mind taking a look at that one?
Sure. I just had to read these out. These are obviously not formatted to be on the screen right now. We're just going to keep putting off Tyler Craya's list as long as possible, just so you guys know.
Absolutely.
All right.
So the list I sent you comes from Steve Zuber, who is Steve the 13th in our chat all the time, who's been a guest once on the show. He sent an Eldar list over. If you want, I can read it off. I just have to.
I've got it right in front of me. Yeah. Okay. So we have Eldrad, Illic Night Spear, 2 Fire Prisms, 2 Night Spinners, a unit of 10 Rangers, 3 D Cannons, looks like 2 5-man Warp Spiders, and 2 Wraith Knights. I think they both have shields. So they're both 1 gun, 1 shield.
So the Illic goes in the Rangers because he can't be targeted within 12, so they camp out. Eldrad basically starts off board because he just gives you extra dice and doesn't want to saddle you with some Guardians that are going to be magnets for Desolation Marines.
I mean, does he have... I understand why you're putting one off board. Could you just play down 100 points and just say you paid 100 points for 3 Fate dice and just put them on the table and just not care about them anymore?
Kind of.
I mean, you can do that come turn 3 when he doesn't walk on. Yeah.
You basically put the Warp Spiders in Deep Strike. They come down, they flame stuff, they do devastating wounds. They have a ton of shots. D cannons are D cannons. They hit you. They can do mortals, but they're also strength 1 million and D6 plus 2 damage. So I'm surprised he doesn't have any walkers. He's always got Fire Prisms instead.
Fire Prisms instead.
Yeah, I don't mind that. The fire prisms at $1.25 are actually at a point cost where even I have to say I like them, even though I hate the fire prism with a passion. But for $1.25, that's a really good price.
I mean, he's also going with they're so broken. And I agree with him. We all know that Eldar are the problem child at the moment. I think there's a couple other ones, but they're definitely the problem child.
All right. I don't feel like there's a lot to say there though, because it's just got all the good stuff and it's going to kill most people. So,
yeah,
like, there's not a lot to do there.
It doesn't have 3 spinners, which makes me sad. Because I like to make my opponent sad by going, hey, you're -2 to your movement and you can't advance. Stay over there.
I mean, could you, for points, if you wanted to, drop the fire prisms, take a 3rd night spinner, and then add 3 walkers? Does that work out?
Possibly. Doing the Farseer, adding a Farseer to the army, if you're looking to be completely competitive, the problem is that most of the top lists have so much indirect that you have nowhere to put him. So he just gets smoked so easy. Yep. And it's so hard to hide things versus towering that they're just going to see one of those Guardians and just go, hey, take 48 saves in your Guardians. And then the Farseer ends up going, so everybody's dead and I got 20-some saves to make? Cool.
All right. I'm going to go behind the curtain here for a minute. You guys can see my slideshow. Because I do have Mr. Trial Kai's list right here. So this is the Demons list. I think, Brad, you may have talked to Mr. Tyler Krya about this at some point. Another one that's kind of just starting with all the good stuff, similarly to that Eldar list that we just talked about. Probably not a ton of things we could change. Be'lakor, Lord of Change with the Everstav, Shalaxi Hellbane, 3 units of Nurglings, 2 units of 3 Blood Crushers, 3 units of Flamers, and then 3 War Dog Brigands.
I like that. I don't know if I think you need, because if I'm thinking about this list, I'm also thinking about where am I taking it? Like, am I going to a singles list? The only problem with allying in your knights are good. They have great cost on them. They're so cheap. And I like adding them, but it depends whether I'm talking about singles or a team event, because I don't want to take a faction away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that really depends. Shalaxi's, I love her and I hate her at the same time. She hits like a truck, but she is so expensive at 400 points.
She doesn't die very easily either. She is a Spire Soak magnet.
I'm gonna type in here my thought on that. But Blood Crushers, the only bad thing about Blood Crushers is the fact that you can accidentally pull yourself out of combat if you roll too well. So
yeah,
because they do mortals on the charge.
So I went back and looked at the rules because we talked about this last weekend. There is a pile in step, right? You just only get to do it if you charge, just like now. If you charge or currently in combat, you get to pile in, but you still have to be base to base or base to base with something else.
3 models, you know what I mean? So it's just hard to stay in combat.
Yeah.
I might do 2 times. They already got 2 times 3. I thought he had 3 times 3. I wouldn't mind seeing a unit of Fiends in here. They just have they move so fast, and they've got devastating wounds on their attacks also. So it just depends on the rest of the stuff that's coming in here. Be'lakor stays in. Lord of Change is just an auto for 230, and then you put the weapon on him. Shalaxi's a monster. It just depends whether you want knights in the army or not. Because I was looking at it and thinking, do I want Brigands in the back, which are probably the best bang for your buck? I love Nurglings for the forward deploy. So
what do the Nurglings do now? Because they're OC 0, right? So they don't count as trash that holds objectives.
The thing is that you have things coming off a reserve. You have rapid ingress. You have things that want to come in and shoot you. As a demon player, because of a lot of this army is doing a lot of their damage in melee, you don't want people coming in from reserve where you don't want to be. I don't want to have to charge off to the side, because remember, if I can make base, I don't get another pile in. I have to be base to base. I don't get a consolidate move if I can't get to an objective or be in engagement range. So it's harder in your movement with melee. So if you make me charge somewhere I don't want to be, I can really get pulled out of the game. So the Nurglings are there to make sure people aren't showing up places where you don't want them, making sure they're not getting rapid ingress. I'm not getting shot where I don't want to. I don't want to charge somewhere I don't want to. But also, they can forward deploy. So if I'm making one of those big moves right away, because Shalaxi's fast as shit, I'd like to not be overwatched by, I don't know, like a Wraith Knight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you can grab shit. They're basically super wild card useful without doing any damage whatsoever.
Okay. I just look at the list and I'm slightly concerned. Like, and I think the answer is what we talked about this past weekend. I look at it, I'm like, how do you hold the objective? What's holding objectives? What's playing the mission here? And I think you're just not, right? You're just going to kill them. That's your plan, to just kill the other person.
And the Flamers hold objectives. The War Dogs can hold objectives.
I mean, the Flamers are going to be deep striking me or something, right? They're not.
No, they're not. Because it depends on what you're playing. Because like if you're trying to stop things like warp spiders and stuff like that, you're going to overwatch them because they have 12-inch guns. You have 12-inch guns. So you put them right in front of your big guys.
I mean, but if you're playing something with warp spiders, then they're just going to get shot by the other stuff, right?
They have to move up at least. You know what I mean? Because they still have to get within 18 inches of the units. So at least have some counter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not great. You hope they didn't roll a bunch of sixes for the fake dice. But like the thing is that you want things that are fast enough to counter, because you're going to take some things in deep strike. You're going to take like blood crushers because then you want them to make those 6-inch charges from either Shadows of Shadows of Chaos or just off of Bellicor, who has his own aura of Shadows of Chaos. Yeah. So that's what I was thinking. I might want some more just stuff. So, because you really want to countercharge. You want to make it so people have to get within that 18 to do anything to you and then jump all over them.
So do you take the brigades out at that point? The brigands, I should say.
Brigands, I don't know. You know what I mean? I'd like to play. I wouldn't mind putting this on the board.
We're going to be putting it on the board this weekend for sure.
Yeah. So like, I haven't played this particular one. I haven't played Demons with Knights yet, and I don't know how I feel about them with them currently. So I'd like to get this on the board and see, because I'd like to just have more stuff, because you still have to play the mission. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Demons is an army that's just supposed to pick you up.
I think there's a real good chance that on our stream this weekend, Brad, that one of our games at some point is going to finish real early, and then we're going to do this list versus my night list from this past weekend. So we'll at least get to see it on board there.
Yeah, because you could do some. Demons are a very, very good army, but they have a lot of moving parts. You have to ask yourself a lot of questions of what's starting on board, what's deep striking, what's coming from reserve, where are you doing it, you know what I mean? And you have to kind of shell game it up depending on what you're playing against.
All right, I got one last one we can theory craft here, Brad. Okay?
Hit me.
This is my list that I've been theory crafting. I have not put it on the table in any capacity yet. Okay? I got to open my app so I can read it to you.
200 assault intercessors.
If you said it was 200 inceptors, you'd be right. All right. So, it's Necrons. Okay. I got a bunch of characters that I'm not going to read out, because I'm just going to explain how I think it works. All right, we're going to have a unit
I think it works.
Well, I have 3 lords and overlords, 3 technomancers, and Orcon the Diviner. So that doesn't mean anything unless I tell you where they go.
You lost me at that many characters.
Yeah, that's my point. So it's you take a unit of Lich Guard, 10 Lich Guard, you attach Orcon the Diviner for a 4-up invuln to them, and then you attach an Overlord with a Hypermaterial Blader to them for a -1. Basically, he gives them stealth and cover all the time.
So you're running them with war sights.
Yes, you're taking them with the war sights, so you get the extra damage, but still have the 4 invuln. Every lord is going to have a resurrection orb on it. Okay, and then this unit and 2 of the units of warriors are going to get to have 2 crypto thralls. Now, for everyone understands, crypto thralls do not work the same way as characters when they join a unit. If a character in a unit dies, it can't come back, or if that unit dies, it can't come back because they're gone. Crypto Thralls specifically say they become part of the base unit and extend the starting strength of that unit by 2, so that if those 2 Crypto Thralls die first, you can bring them back later, even if they're both completely gone. And that matters because they both have 2 wounds with a 4-up feel no pain built in. Okay. They also give the characters in the unit a 4-up feel no pain to help make them a little more immune to precision. So it's trying to keep the combo together. So you have a unit of Lich Guard there. Lich Guard are -1 to wound as long as that Overlord's there. So they're -1 to hit, cover, -1 to wound. They have built-in 4-up feel no pains spread throughout the unit, and they have a 4-up invuln. You have 2 units of 20 warriors that all have a 5-up feel no pain from a Technomancer. They have a Lord who is giving them they can use stratagems even if they get battle shocked, which matters for the Necron reanimation strat. They both have 2 crypto thralls in them. So you have 2 units like that. You have a 3rd unit of warriors, so 60 warriors total. They have a lord with all that stuff, but he also has the veil because there's no crypto thralls in that unit. And then the Technomancer give them a 2-up field or a 5-up field no pain. You have 2 Ghost Arcs, which can proc 2 extra reanimations. You have Reanimator for D3 extra. I think there's some Scarabs in the list too. But the general theory is that because there's a Resorb in every single unit reanimates on both players' command phase. So you're reanimating every single turn for D3 plus 2D3 plus 3 if you're on an objective every single time.
I would go 1 Ghost Arc because you have to put something in it. What are you putting in it?
Are you still required to put stuff in it?
100%. I was actually just looking at that, and I don't like Ghost Arcs as much just because of that.
Yeah, I didn't realize you still had to put stuff in there, so that would definitely change it. Yeah. Does it?
So,
I don't even know what the capacity on the Ghost Arc is because I didn't look at it for that reason.
10 plus
10
character.
Yep.
10 plus
that's
1
my
character.
only problem with having double Ghost Arc is you end up wasting points on a unit you didn't really want.
For sure.
So I like that. I don't know if you need the Lords in the Warriors, so you can free up some points. I do like the Destroyers quite a bit, the heavy Destroyers. I think that they have real play for the points. They put out a lot of shots, and they should be tricksy. But I do love the Lich Guard in Warriors are just a auto for me right now in Necron, so 100%.
So if you cut one, I'm sorry, if you cut 1 Ghost Arc, you cut half of the Warriors from 1 unit so they can get inside of it, and you cut the Lord there. That's going to give you 85 plus 120, so 205 plus 125. So it's going to give you 330 points to play with.
So there's your. Do you have heavy destroyers in that army already?
Not at the moment. Nope. It was all bodies right now.
Well, there's 2 units of heavy destroyers. Because I think
plus
the
points.
Heavy destroyers
unit
like
3 is 135. Yeah. So
yeah.
you still have 60 points left over. You could take a Hexmark destroyer at that point. He's exactly 60. You put him right between all your units, and every time anyone shoots your units, the Hexmark destroyer shoots, and there's no cap right now on how many times a turn it gets to shoot. So someone's saying the rapid fire battle cannon can clap you for 46 plus 20, which is true. Average on that is going to be 34 hits or 34 shots, hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s. You're going to hit like 28 times. You're going to wound
26 times.
26 times. Then you hit less than that because it's -1 to hit. So you're probably wounding like 22 times into their 5-up feel no pain on everything, which is fine.
I get a feeling, by the way, that Zach wants to put in a salamander list. It's just a feeling.
Yeah,
I'm not a fan of the 20 bricks of warriors, and I know that sounds weird, but it just doesn't work for me.
They have 3 different times that they can reanimate though.
Yeah,
there's just too much indirect with blast that I think can pick them up.
Well, let me start with the battle cannon thing. So let's assume it didn't have -1 to hit. Let's say you had a way to ignore that. So you wound 26 times. Battle cannon is still AP1. So they're still just getting 4-ups. So that's still only going to fail 13 saves, which is 9 warriors plus 2 crypto thralls. Or no. It's going to be 11 warriors plus 2 crypto thralls. And they then immediately reanimate twice. Immediately at the end of that shooting, you can pop the strat and the Ghost Arc at the same time to immediately reanimate 4d3 plus 14.
What's the 10 Desolators do against it?
So the Desolators are lots of shots. Again, that one's slightly better because you're going to be still saving on 3s. Yeah. The fact that it's not AP1 makes it actually slightly better. We'd have to do the math on it. But the Desolators are going to be more hampered by the Feel No Pain than the Knight is. Because into the Warrior Bricks, everything has a Feel No Pain. And that matters.
So do you run to free up the points, is it 1 brick of warriors or is it 2?
I
Can
don't-
you get away with having 1 brick?
I think you
Can-
need 2 bricks.
Yeah, I mean, I thought 2 bricks in a Lich Guard unit, but again, this is an idea for kind of a team's idea.
Okay.
Something that, like, my thought was, I actually don't know if Knights can pick up this army. I feel like there's a real good chance that at the end of every turn, there's the exact same number of models on the table.
And again, I'm looking at running Necrons right now because I just want to play something different for a little bit.
Yeah.
So I started painting vehicles that I have never used for them.
Yeah.
Like I started painting the Annihilation barges because they feel good.
Well, and I have almost this entire list painted minus like 4 or 5 characters. I only like to play Silvertide Necrons. I don't like to play any other kind of Necrons.
I love Silvertide.
Yeah, I love Silvertide. I have 60 warriors right here ready for me to bring down this weekend. So I was appealed by this, specifically the fact that it was rooted in Silvertide. I do think this is kind of a perfect example of Brad talked about that tier, and we're not doing our tier list tonight, obviously, but that tier of armies that are really, really ready. They're just waiting to hear that gun go off when the nerfs come up here. They're going to take off.
Like, I mean, put me in, coach.
Yeah, they are ready for that starting pistol to fire. And I feel like Necrons like this, if they do nerf indirect and devastating wounds, holy crap.
Necrons are what, the 3rd or 4th book? Because they're coming this year.
They are the 2nd season. They're going to come out at the same time as AdMech. So it's going to be Marines and Nids first, and then AdMech and Necrons.
Right, so we're looking at September-ish for Tyranids and Marines.
Yeah, we're probably looking around Thanksgiving for AdMech and Necrons.
Yeah, Thanksgiving, Christmas time. Yeah, that makes sense.
So I think this list could have play.
Focus destroyers to match the heavy destroyers, even though I own 18 regular destroyers.
I think this list could have play in teams right now. I don't think this list. I don't know. Brenton told me that he doesn't think Eldar picked this list up as fast as other people would. I think he's played some games with something like this into it. So I don't know how this matches up against top tier meta right now. I think it's real good though, and I think if the top gets nerfed, this is right there with like Drukhari and
stuff. We're working on this right now, by the way.
Are you guys working on the list?
Working on Necrons right now.
Oh, yeah.
Behind me is a table full of Necrons.
Yeah, I love Necrons. I think they're one of the armies that are sneaky, like near the top. There's that top, tier of craziness, and the Necrons are just right there.
Yeah,
I fully agree with that.
I want to try to get some proxy games in this weekend with the stuff I'm not bringing, because I feel like there's a lot of potential here, especially for ATC. I think there's going to be a lot of lists that just can't do it.
I'm just liking that we're getting Lyle with the cattail.
Yeah, my fluffy cat just really wants attention. She wants dinner is what it is. So she's up here trying to get my attention.
I also want dinner.
Well, we can't let a sleeping Brad be hungry. So
I mean, Brad's been dancing for the last 10 minutes. So
yeah, I think it's the same thing as like when my cat starts like doing this because they want food. I think
in
that's
my
what
mind,
Brad's
I'm
doing.
listening to the gorillas. Feel good Inc.
All right. So if you do not have plans this weekend, or if you do have plans that involve staying home and hobbying, we would love for you just to pop our stream on this weekend and hang out with us, because we're going to be going at it starting at 5 o'clock tomorrow.
And not only will the stream be available on YouTube, if you stop into the store that I work at and you're in Syracuse, New York, and you stop by the art store to grab your Leviathan box, we will have it streaming there. So you guys will actually be on inside a store at the same time on hopefully a very large TV.
We will also be on multiple places. So we're going to go on Brandon's channel, on the DOG YouTube, and maybe more.
We're going to be doing all kinds of things. Like we said, we got fun games, competitive games. We're going to be testing. We got 2 tables. We're going to be streaming 1. We're going to be testing in one room for ATC and probably for Salt City coming up next week, because I know Brad has made a lot of checks with his mouth that he needs to go cash next weekend. So I imagine Brad will be preparing for that.
People who have watched the stream who went, yeah, I don't know that Brad guy other than off your stream, Brian, but I really want to beat him. And I'm like, all right, good luck.
That's hurtful talk.
Well, you'll have a chance coming up a week from Saturday. Or is it a week from Friday or a week from Saturday, Brian?
That's the 7th, 8th, and 9th of July. Okay. So roughly 2 weeks.
2 weeks from Friday. Okay.
And I just finished getting all my tables organized, getting my terrain modified a little bit. getting the overhead pictures done tomorrow so I can actually put them into the player pack. But I was told to wait until the 24th by a particular Games Workshop employee to make sure that I was happy with my table layouts.
All right. Well, I know if you come and watch us this weekend on stream, if you are on one of the games where Brad tables somebody in like 30 minutes, Brad will start taking requests for what he should test for Salt City. So you're going to be able to come and affect Brad's testing on stream and see how he tests. Brad, we might even be able to talk Brad into doing a coaching game if you want to see what it's like to get coached by Brad. See if you're interested in some of those services. We're going to be doing it all this weekend, doing everything. We're doing it live, Brad. We're doing it live.
I just fired off finger guns. I feel that's how you end.
Absolutely.
No, there's only one way to end this stream, Brad. And this week I'm going to let you say it.
Stay milky.